So I guess this is gonna be a very controversial video. A lot of people are gonna dislike. But I've been wanting to do this video for a while, so here we go. Hi everybody and big welcome to a ban rant, I could say, about Mystic Remora and Ristic Study 2 soon. If you disagree with me, that is absolutely fine. I don't think it really matters much. I mean, I'm not really pushing, I'm not really trying to make these cards banned or anything. And if they stay legal forever, I don't really care either, it's fine. But I honestly think that the format would be better if they were banned. So the big reason why I dislike them is because they force politics. If there is a Mystic Remora in play, you more or less have to address it as a group effort. I would like to compare Mystic Remora with Ad Nauseam. Sometimes that little fish, 1 blue mana, will perform pretty similar to an Ad Nauseam if one player or maybe two players just sit there and accidentally feed it. I mean, you probably even heard the term "don't feed the fish." And it's something that is very hard to control for a player unless you politics about it. You can sit there and you can cast your creatures and restrain yourself from just putting too many rocks into play too early in the game to give away unnecessary card advantage to an opponent, and then another person could be across you just putting rock and empty their hand and pass turn and feed the fish. And once again, the only way to interact with that is with politics. Now this is coming from someone who really likes politics. I like to have the political debate inside the cEDH game about how we're going to solve the problem, making deals and such, but I don't want it to be a forced thing. I want it to exist if two people agree they want to do something, but I don't want it to be like a necessity. Because there are people that don't like politics, and I think that's fine. I think that's how it should be. It shouldn't be a forced thing. It's something you can do if you want to, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. But when it comes to Mystic Remora, you kinda have to. Because if you don't, there's usually gonna be someone that's just gonna be rock, brainstorm, ponder, rock, and pass turn, and the fish has been heavily fed. Alright, I know that there are situations where the fish doesn't do that, when you're going up against like creature heavy decks, where no one is feeding the fish because they can't actually. And also there's those games where no one is feeding the fish even though no politics were made because no one wanna give away a card draw, so they simply just put the land into play and pass turn until the fish is gone. But then there's that other situation. Okay, I'm gonna put this fish into play and I'm gonna pass the turn here. Alright, fish. Let's do land drop and I pass. Stupid fish, land drop and pass. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I'm gonna do Polluted Delta. Let's do, oh yeah, Mana Crypt, that's good. Oh, I have a Mox Diamond here as well. Let's do then Soul Ring, Chromox, and yeah, I gotta imprint my Carpet of Flowers. I don't need that into my Chromox. Okay, I'm Hellbent, and I'm gonna cast my Commander and pass.
Don't feed a fish.
It always just takes one person to kinda overextend. So the pod culture, the development that happens when a fish occurs is that everyone is feeding the fish eventually. Because if one is doing it, I might do it as well. Because the fish is getting ahead. The person that is feeding the fish is also getting ahead. So I might just do it as well. Just so I also can catch up, even if like the fish is running away with the game even more. I've also heard an argument that the best way of dealing with a fish is just to feed it, because if you overfeed it, they can't use all the cards in their hand, they have to sacrifice it. I don't really understand or I totally disagree with that argument, because all I'm gonna say here is just you gave them an Ad Nauseam. Card draw wins games. Even if the fish only drew like 10 cards, and then you sacrifice it, that's 1 blue mana, draw 10 cards. Like, 1 blue mana, draw 5 cards, that's also crazy. If the turns are being dragged out, you're paying the cumulative upkeep and you're drawing like 1 to 2 cards a turn cycle, then it's kinda okay. But there's always that potential accident where this just happens to win the game. Now what about Esper Sentinel and all of the other? We're gonna get to all of the others soon. I think Esper Sentinel is fine. Just like how the rules committee considered Notion Thief fine, but Hull Breacher too good. Apparently, there's a difference, and just like it is here with Mystic Remora and Esper Sentinel, there is a difference. Esper Sentinel is a little bit weaker, or actually way weaker. In my own personal experience, I don't really see Esper Sentinel doing the same kind of value mastery as Mystic Remora. We should probably also mention Smothering Tide. I personally don't really have a problem with Smothering Tide. I don't see it doing the same thing as Mystic Remora is doing. Kadra is better than mana usually. Now absolutely I've seen games where someone is just feeding that white enchantment, just drawing a lot of cards, never paying for the triggers, and then just giving away a lot of treasures. So in the end I'm a little bit personally torn what I think about this enchantment. Now multiplayer is a little bit strange as there are cards that become stronger and stronger, sometimes with the more opponents that you have, and it's a little bit tricky how to balance that. For example, Nigella the Blade Blossom benefits from more opponents because there's always gonna be someone that doesn't have blockers, someone that isn't contributing into defending against Nigella. If someone doesn't have blockers, it doesn't matter if you have blockers. The entire Malcolm, Glinteye, Buccaneer combo works because you have exactly 3 or more opponents. It still works on 2 opponents, but it will never work on only 1 opponent. Now, of course, I don't really have a problem with the Glinthorn and the Navigator. They are awesome and they should stay awesome, but Mystic Remora is different. There's nothing wrong with having cards inside a format that are benefiting from the more opponents. Just imagine if you have an Esper Sentinel and you have 8 opponents, which is gonna be a very horrible game. That's a 9-pod player game. Yeah, don't go into that. But the power level of Esper Sentinel will definitely grow. As close to all EDH games are being played on a 4-pod, you have 3 opponents, and that's kinda fine. It performs okay-ish. What a 1 white mana Kadra engine kinda should do, in my personal opinion at the very least. Now sure, sometimes you do politics a tiny bit with Esper Sentinel, like you can pay for that Esper Sentinel trigger over there. But I never really see a huge demand to politic around Esper Sentinel. But I do see a huge demand in politicking around Rhystic Study, because that will trigger on everything all of the time, where Esper Sentinel will only trigger once on non-creature spells. And once again, in my personal opinion, if you're forced to have a political discussion about a card in order to deal with that card, then I think that card is a problem for the format. And once again, this is coming from someone that thinks politics should be a thing inside the format, but I don't think it should be a forced thing. I often hear comments that we should ban Thassa's and Consult because that combo is way too good, way too fast. And I can absolutely see that argument, as I've seen these combos actually win turn 2 sometimes, but I kind of want to look at the engines, the mechanic behind it sometimes getting there. Like for example Oddnos. Oddnos is fair, Oddnos is getting them there, but Oddnos doesn't demand any politics. Oddnos is easily interacted with, you can attack its life, you need to build around Oddnos. There's a lot of things regarding Oddnos. Oddnos is fine. But when the interaction demands politics, now sure, you could counterspell this, you could destroy this, that's probably something you should do, but it doesn't require any build construction. It forces politics if no one around the table is able to interact with it. And Mystic Remora can absolutely be an engine in climbing towards the Thassa's Consult or whatever combo the deck just happens to be going for. Those were my opinions. I would love to hear your opinions, even though I'm a tiny bit terrified about what I'm gonna read in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, even if you're gonna dislike the video. It's okay if we have different opinions, and I don't absolutely care that much, but yeah, this is what I would ban if I had any say in the EDH ban decisions. Take care guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.